we were trying to think of a fun show that we could incorporate ritual to and puppetry into. And as we were spitballing, one of the things that we landed on was bad luck and the rituals that sort of surround bad luck. The avoidance of walking under ladders, avoiding black cats, upside down shoes, all that stuff. And kind of what we settled on was following a puppet through just like a day in his life, going through and obsessing over all these things and seeing how he reacts to all of them. And sort of the main reason that we're using a puppet instead of just a regular actor and having them do all this sort of slapstick humor that we want the puppet to do is we want the puppet to just be there for spectacle. If that makes sense, there's a lot of things with slapstick that we can do with a puppet that human can't do. So
Yeah, we don't want to get sued if the human dies.
There's a lot of slapstick injury, like a cut and stuffing pops out, or like an arm falling off, or an eye coming loose and hanging by a thread, or whatever. It's not gruesome. It's silly.
Yeah.
But then we also, as we were thinking about this, just wanted to explore and talk about, why we hold these superstitions and if they're really worth holding on to, and how damaging they can be, or yada 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 yada. So some very superstitions that I already went through this with. Things that the puppet will run into. I kind of already went over this, but walking under ladders, spilling salt, upside down horseshoes, black cats, crossing paths that found cracks, all these things. Business model. Another thing we were talking about was this would only be a 20 to 30 minute sort of production, which we didn't think would be really feasible for patrons to buy their own tickets and come to a full show. So what we were thinking was a sort of touring model where festivals, fairs, that sort of activity sort of book us and just kind of have us around. Like imagine a county fair with just this.
Puppet show.
And then advertising is a lot of spreading the word on social media. We don't need to be taking out print ads and Sunday or whatever. But kind of moving on to aesthetics.
So for aesthetics, we kind of wanted to go for like Sesame Street, but like 20% less saturation and in like a bit less affluent of a neighborhood. Like this is the puppet lives in an area where they're kind of just scraping by. They got an apartment, but it's not super furnished. It's clearly stuff that was either like found on the street or purchased secondhand. They've made a name for themselves though, and then made an establishment using some like reused wood, upcycled, like very rustic to give it a bit of like charming reuse, and the like disheveled suit to be like this puppet's kind of still going through it. They're unkempt, they're a little like haggard, but they still gotta go to work, so they gotta put on their clothes and get going. And then for our stage, we wanted to see if we could convert a trailer or some other sort of like capsule in which we could house our actors, our stages, and our puppets in order for them to use that we could easily transport to and from. We could gussy it up, make it charming, have the doors open up to say, hey, we're open, this show is going on, or close them to be like, you missed a chance, catch the next one. And then for the sets, we would have like almost like sort of train set miniatures of houses, stuff like that to go on. And given the smaller scale, it would be easy enough for like a crew of like 1 or 2 people to be able to like hot swap them, like take them off on like the base plate, put it somewhere else, shove the next one in for easy transitions. And here's some scene examples. We wanted a scene where the puppet would try and avoid getting hit or walking under a ladder that was in like a construction area, and then proceeds to immediately get hit by a bus, and then followed by stuffing getting thrown at the audience, cut to them like picking themselves on, maybe like sewing themselves back up again. Another scene where maybe towards like the end of like a crescendo of them going crazy, they just purchased a bunch of good luck charms that covered in like 4-leaf clovers, a rabbit's foot, a horseshoe, and they get so lucky that a gold pot drops on their head. Like another scene where they're like, oh, knock on wood, and they proceed to knock on wood and wakes up with like a hive of bees. They have like a bunch of puppets on strings, like similar to the soot wisps that an actor can just like wave around and chase the puppet with.
Yeah, basically. Oh, spoiler reveal! Anyway, basically what we planned here is we were thinking musics for the aesthetics and an array of different sounds So we have such choices. I was thinking like, Justin Timberlake. But we thought it was too ironic, and then we thought maybe the Verve, Lucky Man, but then we basically settled on BJ Thomas and raindrops keep falling on my head. So you could just picture the scene, and you've got little wad here. If you want to see the music.
I think you just have to go back and read.
Oh,
There we go.
There we go. So he's walking along and not a care in the world, just as you do. And then avoid the ladder.
No.
Yeah.
So for 15K, we focused on mainly getting the proof of concept set up. So this would be things like making a wide variety of puppets, a bunch of different ones that are like showing different like states of like haggardness, of damage. Like maybe one has an arm that's completely like been replaced by a different material, or like its hair is a bunch of different messed up things. And then like resourcing the set design from maybe like the pieces of Dollhouse, instead of having to make it for ourselves. This could be things like dressers or actual like backs of dollhouses, which have then been repainted to look like individual apartments. And then like renting of a van, or even purchasing of like a bad trailer, maybe one that's like secondhand, not super camped, just to make sure we have like a place where we can show this is how it works, this is what it's doing, this is how it's succeeding, or things that need to be worked on with it. And then as well, wages for the crew, which would be like 2 or 3 people, probably one main actor, one sub actor, and like stagehand, and then maybe a person to drive or do social media. And then with 80K, we pretty much just upscale it. So purchasing of materials to construct the set, things like the rusted wood, some more and better paint, instead of utilizing dollhouses, making our own props and sets, making another variety of puppets, which high quality material, making more movement, things like eyes, more detailed mouths, better strings and hands, grease in it, and then getting a permanent trailer, which we would then modify the outside of and the inside of to better fit the purpose and aesthetic of the show. So we could be putting like woodline paneling on the outside of the trailer, making the inside of the trailer have spaces for the actors that fit them better, more places for them to sit or lie when they are performing, to make sure that they are in commodity, and then wages and construction.
Yeah. So who's this for? Who are we aiming for? Well, essentially it's for everyone. But we kind of envision this like a Simpsons, South Park, Family Guy type deal. It's a cartoon, but it's not for children. So kids could watch it and be like, "Oh, puppets cute, grotesque but cute." And then they might see the adult themes of it, which is basically we want to say, there's all this chaos in the world, and we want to kind of like go, well, sometimes you just gotta like stop and smell the roses and just kind of go, well, don't take life too seriously. And so, by him making the choice of going around the ladder, he got hit by a car or bus, I should say. Why now? We just feel like the time that's in it, it's more relevant than ever. Like, people are saying there's World War III on the horizon. We have Russia and Ukraine. We have Israel and Palestine. And there's a lot of tragedy and a lot of chaos in the world right now. And we just think, sometimes it's nice just to go back to basics and realize that essentially it's nice just to take a step back and realize that, life is what you make it. And you shouldn't be worried about little things. Certainly you shouldn't be worried about walking on cracks and ladders and superstitions and things that can really wreck your day for no reason at all. And this comes from someone else who needs them.
We kind of covered it in the previous one.
No, that's all we got.
Oh,
That's all we got.
wait, one more scene I forgot to mention. And finally, when the puppet's coming home, taking off their hat, hanging on the coat rack, what's left of their coat after it's probably been torn to shreds, they get their big, very well taken care of black cat comes and snuggles up to them. And this is like the only nice thing about the apartment. The cat has a bed, it's got a watering dish, it's very nice. And he's just happy to see his little buddy. Like no understanding or connection, or if there is a connection that's understood, it doesn't care because it just has his friend.
But it leaves it open to you, the audience. So wait, was he unlucky all along? Was it because of the black cat? So many questions. Did you pay us?
Woo!
It's really nice to day in the life of
think it's really smart, clever idea, festival route, and using the mode of transport is the set. That's really smart and really clever. That how you get from one place to another place is also the set. I think that also has a bit of complication, and all the ideas that you said are really lovely. But how do you do that in that quite constrained, small little caravan with the audience there, but and the puppet? But something to think about. The slapstick is really, really lovely, and the touring model I think is really good. And I think you have to think about the space that you're in. But I guess that would happen from it, and how many times you run it in the day in the festival. But and also it's a nice concept. This kind of routine and luckiness or superstition. It's quite fun.
Yeah, and also, you're leading into the inherent qualities of a puppet as being somewhat helpless in the world, and they require, being puppeteered. And that's something that I think everyone would acknowledge is something in puppetry. And I really like the set design and how you presented it as well. You looped it back right at the end to say how you presented it was great. Linking it back to the ritual, how they can be silly, superstitions are silly. Let's just acknowledge the world right now. I wondered whether the audience could be involved in some sort of way, because we are, as like one of the other works, we're observing a somewhat troubled character, and we want to care for that character. I wondered if you would consider involving the audience in some sort of way, because the puppet is essentially going to get destroyed, isn't it? Really, if it's getting bashed about.
The closest thing we would have for an idea is that like when it would get like bashed about, we just have like a little launcher to just throw stuffing at the audience.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
But it's a puppet, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's
All
already
puppets are hurt and they
I can go.
Right. Well done. Well done. Everyone.